Hello, and welcome to the In-House Content Podcast, where we teach you how to create content that works for you and not against you in order to add meaningful leads into your business. The In-House Content Podcast is sponsored by Creative Selections LLC and Really Good Content Incorporated. Well, welcome to the In-House Content Podcast. I am Jared. I'm the CEO of Really Good Content Incorporated, and joining me, as always, is the amazing Stephanie Hidalgo, the CEO and owner of Valley Image Studios and Creative Selections
Hello,
LLC.
everybody.
She's also a surfer. Rad surfer.
I just told you my surfing story.
she's killing it. I'm
definitely killing something.
She's killing it.
Oh my God.
Did you want to introduce the topic today? Do you want me to introduce it?
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about how social media can drive leads into your leads and sales into your funnel or your shop or your small business. Essentially, how you can utilize social media, how to grow your business.
Exactly.
So,
because we talked last week about the actual sales funnel, and social media is going to sit on the top line of that.
Exactly.
And Stephanie is an absolute monster with social media and developing amazing social media accounts, driving leads for people. And today I'm going to get to glean tons of amazing information from her. I'm going to give my 2 cents here and there, but I genuinely have been looking forward to this because I just want to pick your brain even more on why you do what you do, because I think you have such an innate ability, and I'm interested in learning about your instincts.
Is it instincts? I don't know.
Whatever they are, they're working.
Yeah,
so
I guess it is.
So when people start in social media, when they have nothing and they know they need to get on this social media trend, if it's a new business, let's say it's a mom and pop shop, how do you recommend they select the first social medias? Because there's hundreds of different social medias. There's probably 10 that are super prevalent, but how do they pick what they should be on?
Yeah, so that's the question I get all the time. Like, what should we focus on? And what should we develop content for? Because everything has a different strategy. So of course you want to look at demographics, like who is on Instagram, who is on Facebook, who is on LinkedIn, who is on Twitter, who is on Pinterest, right? So you want to think about that and just kind of take a step back from your business and kind of act like the customer, right? Like if I kind of try to put myself in the customer's shoes and try to understand if I was to see this content, how would I react type of thing. Mm-hmm. So so I try to figure out where their customer is. So I have a pizza shop, and Instagram does amazing for their pizza shop, but so does Facebook compared to Twitter.
Or
Twitter
LinkedIn.
Doesn't do as well, or LinkedIn for this client. So we focus a lot of the content to be on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. Now there is an SEO benefit to having a lot of social media pages, which is the backlinks and of course that presence online that helps boost your online rankings. Which maybe you focus on content for Instagram and Facebook, but we don't ignore the other ones. So we cross post every once in a while just to kind of keep your rankings high, because it's a competitive world and you want to have that advantage.
Yeah. So with selecting your social media, essentially what you're saying is locate your target demographic and see where they primarily are and use that as a starting block. So for example, if I'm a super young hip brand that is geared towards late teens, early 20s, I would probably be a lot on TikTok and Instagram would probably be the two that you start with those two.
Yeah, and I would also recommend Pinterest. Yeah, so definitely if you are targeting the younger demographic, you definitely want to be on Instagram, TikTok. I wouldn't focus too much on Facebook. I wouldn't ignore Facebook, but I would definitely create specific content for Instagram and TikTok, especially the Reels and the TikTok videos and everything that's trending right now.
What are the age demographics that you're seeing are primarily on each social media?
So it's interesting because I do see a lot of women from 20 to 50 on Instagram, but I also do see a lot of the younger demographic. I don't see the really young demographic, so I don't see my younger siblings who are 12, 8 and for like 14 and under, 15 and under maybe, I do see them more on TikTok than Instagram for sure.
Yeah.
That's like, if you want to target that niche, which I don't know if you can, I don't know if most people want to target that niche. Maybe like
I'm sure there is stuff. I mean, like Disney targets that niche.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
I mean, like there are certainly businesses that like Kid Nike, or you're going for like whatever it is, fashion brands that are geared towards kids. Fidget spinners were ginormous for anybody who was sub 16.
I had a fidget spinner.
So did I. I had like 3. But I was working at a church at the time when fidget spinners were getting super popular, and I didn't see a single kid that didn't have one in their fingers just spinning it constantly.
Yeah, they were super addictive. No, and I totally get that. But yes, TikTok is the platform, because I've noticed too is that like if you're a restaurant, like a boba shop, or like a haircut place, or like a pizza joint, or you know, if you have that trending TikTok, you know, or you have something that makes your restaurant or your business like a little different, and you post that video on like TikTok, then all of a sudden you're like packed. You know, you're packed with business. Like I've seen it happen here, especially in Orange County. I'm sorry you've seen it in Florida. Happen to a ton of businesses. Like when, what is that video game? Among Us. Among Us became really popular. You don't know what Among Us is?
No, I'm not that cool.
So it's cooler. Like when it's a video game when where like one of you guys is an imposter, and then like there's a bunch of people, but you're trying to like kill people secretly, and then like you have to gang up, you have to find the imposter, but it's a lot of little kids play it.
Okay.
It's actually really funny.
I played a game similar called Mafia growing up.
Okay. It's pretty funny, and it has these little like characters. So this boba shop, they designed those characters on top, like with foam on top of their on top of their boba. And then all of a sudden, because they posted on TikTok for that demographic, it blew up for them.
Wow. That's awesome. So it works. So TikTok works really well. Virality on TikTok works really well for local businesses, not just national brands.
Exactly. Yes,
That's awesome.
It does work really, really well for local businesses. Like if you're new, you have something a little different. It's TikTok, and I would say Instagram Reels is the best way to showcase that differentiator. Yeah.
Now, I know that you said in the beginning not to necessarily focus too much on Facebook, but is there a benefit to at least having a solid Facebook presence?
Heck yeah. Having a Facebook presence is huge. I have a lot of clients like that do kill it on Facebook, you know, like the Facebook groups that we mentioned before, but then also having a Facebook business page and a personal page. Facebook does very well for a lot of my businesses, specifically targeting the older demographic, definitely like 30 plus.
Dang, I'm almost in that demographic. I'm almost there.
I only say that because I feel like right when MySpace ended, that was like our age and older.
We all got Facebook.
We all got Facebook.
And when it was exclusive, only college students could get on, and you heard whispers around high school of like, oh, have you heard of Facebook? I got my friend got a Facebook.
Exactly.
My friend got a Facebook, and he doesn't have a college email address. You know how he did it? He did it because he got his friend, and now he's on Facebook with all his college. It was this absolute hush. It was the hottest thing if you were on and had a Facebook. And it damaged a lot of my relationships because I had a MySpace, and I had a top 5 on MySpace. And in MySpace, you arrange who you want everyone to see as these are my top people on MySpace. And I had a girlfriend at the time, and she got a Facebook, and she got it before me. And I saw all these dudes on her friends list that were in her top 5. And I was like, what the heck is this?
Dude, I don't know one person who hasn't gotten in trouble from Facebook.
It wasn't, there was no top 5 in Facebook. There was no top 5. And I was like convinced, like, no, these are guys that she likes. I was like this jealous little 14-year-old I was convinced.
That is so funny.
It was ruining my relationships. So Facebook is certainly our generation.
Yeah, Monica came in and she's just like this.
She changed my life.
Now,
I will say Facebook is also how she and I connected. I found her on Facebook after I met her that New Year's Eve. I met her, and then I found her on Facebook. We talked and messaged back and forth, and then the rest is history. Now we're married. 6 years.
So, I guess we're gonna be a little off topic.
Yeah.
You know, but
That's
like
fine.
me and Anthony, same type of story. Like I used to like him in high school, and then I hit him up on Facebook when we all graduated, and
hit him
now
up.
we're married. I hit him up.
Got
like,
him.
hey, nice, I liked his photo, and then I
Yeah.
liked 3 more, and then he was like, I was like,
Uh-huh.
hey, you gonna say hi?
No.
I swear.
You initiated it?
I did.
Oh,
It was
man.
me.
Dang. He was illustrious then. He was hard to get. He was hard to
he
get.
had no idea who I was.
You're like, well, I know who you are.
Yeah.
That's
it was-
awesome.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
He's an amazing guy too. I was glad I got
Yeah,
to meet
he's
him the
awesome.
other day.
He's pretty cool.
Um,
He's good.
Okay, so Facebook's really important to our generation. And the other thing too that I always think about with Facebook, because I never professed to be this social media guru or anything like that. I certainly think you have a lot more experience there. But the biggest benefit that I've seen with Facebook is that as you're building groups and as you're building a presence on Facebook, you're actually collecting data that you can use on advertisements and ad sets moving forward. So no other platform has this power where you can collect data about your demographic, collect data about who your audience is, and then use that data to advertise to more people that are just like them. So the superpower of Facebook is that, as in my opinion, if you partner it with your marketing efforts, as you're building these Facebook groups, whether it's if you are in the med spa niche and you actually build your page, your business page, where you have tons of people following and all that stuff, you can use that audience. Or if you build like a private group and say, hey, we're going to talk about the best beauty tips every single week, and we're going to give you the best skincare advice. We're going to give you the best beauty tips on how you can, change your life and change your diet and change your health so that your skin looks amazing. And it's invite only, and people have to get in, whatever. You're building this massive group of highly primed leads that want to work with you, and you can sell skincare to this group. You can sell advertising to people who want the attention in that group. You can sell them directly your services, whether you're an injector or anything like that. I'm just thinking specifically because we specialize in med spas. But when you own those groups, you also own the audience, and you can go into your Facebook ads manager and say, hey, I want to target everyone that looks just like the people that are in these groups that I've got, or I want to target people specifically in these groups with my ads. So it's a super, super powerful momentum builder that you can use. Even if you're not using Facebook to get attention, you can at least use it as a base in order to build kind of a bigger advertising audience. I'm just thinking from a marketing side.
No, and I agree. You're absolutely right. You can collect all that data. You can run the ads after you have all that data and really specifically target exactly your ideal customer. Get the characteristics, get what they like. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I'm
Facebook
huge on doing that. Now, the other thing cool too about Facebook, I know we talked about this, is we were talking about boosting posts on Facebook or using ads on Facebook, but the other thing is buying attention. So if you don't have an audience, you can buy attention from other big pages on Facebook. You can do that on Instagram as well, but Facebook is pennies on the dollar. You can do it for $100. Somebody will feature you on Facebook, where for 80,000 views or something like that, or for 250,000 views. Whereas on Instagram, what's that going to cost you? $1,750?
Yes, it's a lot different.
And on Facebook, it's even more valuable. I think there's more ways for people to take action from Facebook. It's much harder on Instagram because you're just getting the attention, and then where's the link? How do you get off this thing? Because it's just a post. That's harder for me.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree too. Facebook is the way to go. You definitely don't want to ignore Facebook in your strategy, at all.
No, at least to have it in some form in your strategy. As far as audience building, maybe even if it's not, just at least so you can get a good demographic to advertise to.
Yep, I agree.
Now, I know that your primary thing right now is Instagram. Reels is a big one for you, right?
Yeah, I would say 99% of the people that hire me are I would actually say Instagram and LinkedIn are the main focus for them.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about LinkedIn too. We can go into either one of those right now, but I would love to hear about LinkedIn a lot because I'm interested, because I know you've got some crazy results for your clients on LinkedIn.
Yeah, there's been a lot. It's different. It's definitely a certain type of business that can get really good results on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, it has a really good algorithm if you use a couple hashtags.
Yeah.
It has an amazing algorithm for actually promoting your post without paying for it.
Yeah. So what's kind of the strategy there on LinkedIn that works that you've seen?
So LinkedIn, you definitely want to do specific content for LinkedIn. So LinkedIn has like the PDF option where you can upload PDFs. You could upload like, I recommend like PDF slideshows in terms of content. So it adds like valuable, it's shareable.
And it's like a carousel on Instagram.
Yeah,
where it's like,
so you can
okay.
upload a PDF, right?
Yeah.
So it could be like LinkedIn post size or Instagram post size, but it needs to be downloaded as a PDF. And it would just essentially be a carousel that's, infographic or like adds value to someone. And the first slide, of course, needs to be very catchy. And then, LinkedIn, you go into LinkedIn. Sorry, what was it?
LinkedIn.
Okay, the carousel.
Yeah.
And then the other types of posts are definitely the videos,
Yeah.
caption videos, podcast type content.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the hashtags, like, I use my softwares to see how hashtags are actually doing for clients.
Yeah.
But like once you collect that data out of like what hashtags are getting you good reach in LinkedIn, then you'll see really good like constant reach on LinkedIn.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So are you're saying that our videos doing just as well as those
Videos kick butt on LinkedIn.
Really?
Yeah, my clients who do videos, but the PDF you want to use, so LinkedIn has its specific types of content. Like when you do a post, you'll see it. Now that I'm talking about it, you go in there, you'll see a post. So you could do like curated articles, you could do the PDFs, you could do videos, you could do like voicegrams, audiograms. You could do all types of content that, status updates that will help that page build.
Yeah.
You want to definitely utilize each one.
Okay, so little consult here. What would you recommend? So our agency primarily focuses on web development and brand development. So what would you recommend me to start doing on LinkedIn that's going to get some crazy results?
Okay, so you would do like a slide, like a PDF. I would say, this is just shareable content,
Okay.
right? So like the shareable content is really what helps my clients scale and get like big on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So like, let's say you do a slide, right? A slide or a PDF slide. And the first one's like how to design a website that converts. And then it just slides. So yeah. So then once people like the content or relate to it, more than likely they'll share it. Okay. And I do see a lot of shares on LinkedIn because people are constantly trying to reshare, because I have a lot of clients that want to reshare valuable content because that helps their profiles as well.
Because it boosts them up as well.
Mm-hmm. So I have I work with the agency with a bunch of, I think like 20 financial advisors. And a lot of the strategy comes from resharing tweets and resharing LinkedIn posts that add value.
Just resharing, not even necessarily making your own content.
Yeah, and then what they're mainly resharing, what other people are mainly resharing when they see it on their feed, is going to be the slides. It's usually a curated article, like a good read, or sometimes it's a video, but it's usually or an infographic.
Do the dimensions matter on, like, could I build a square format so I can repost it onto Instagram?
I've done it on Instagram, like the Instagram square, like the 1080 by 1080. I've done that one on LinkedIn all the time. Okay. You just download your content as a PDF.
Exactly, and it has to be posted as a PDF on LinkedIn, because I can export if I made it in Adobe.
Because if not, it's not going to do the slide. It's not going to do the swipe through.
Mm-hmm.
Like how Instagram you can post a carousel. Yeah. So LinkedIn you have to do it as a PDF.
Okay.
But you want to develop shareable, value-adding content to where Stephanie, the business owner, needs to share content to keep her page alive for her followers can go in and be like, oh, that's cool. Like, I'm following the branding hashtag and let me reshare that, Okay. So that's a really good strategy that I've seen work wonders for clients.
Perfect. Done. I'm going to start doing that.
You should. Done. I wish I had the time to do it for myself.
Writing a note.
I'm going to reshare yours.
Done. I will do that, and you can. That could be your strategy. Can you imagine? That's a big hot topic in TikTok right now, where the people who make the audio or make the original, because how you can take someone's audio and record your own voiceover over it. So there's these creators that are ginormous.
Yeah, is it like, what's it called? Reacting?
Kind of like content? Reacting. I'll have to send you some, but essentially it's as if I was talking like this, but you took this video and put your own mouthing the words of what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
And the original creator of the audio gets no fame, no kickbacks, no nothing, while there's people that are getting enormously famous off of their content. That's like a huge war right now with the creators. Anyway, sorry. That's a side subject.
It is a very big war between us all because we're all sharing everything. And we're all kind of a lot of people are copycatting each other. So that's a big thing that I see a lot of clients trying to do when they come to me. Like I saw, like I have a luggage brand that came to me last week, and they want to copy the exact strategy of a very famous, popular luggage brand. And I'm like, okay, like we can do that. And I've done that for clients before, but I haven't seen results. Like you really have to find your differentiator, whether it could be the smallest freaking thing. Like, like your zipper. If you buy this, the zipper's made out of like 100% recycled plastic, like something that just makes you different, because everyone's different in their own way. Do you hear James playing with his toys in the background?
I don't.
Okay, because it's like,
you're good.
It's annoying. It's really loud.
It's because you have the one ear off. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, it's like this little dog that like barks and moves. Okay.
No, I can't.
Anyway, so yeah, you're defining the differentiator in making your content, because the copycats never win.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's really, in the end, it's about people providing true value. If you copy too much, you run out of ideas, because you're not providing true value.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I appreciate that about LinkedIn. Thank you for the consult. You can bill me later for that.
I'm not going to bill you anything. We're homies.
Yeah, just give a little fist bump. I appreciate that.
Virtual fist bump from Cali to Florida.
Yeah, coast to coast.
Coast to coast.
So with Instagram, what's kind of your best recommendations for a few things? Types of posts, hashtags, and even the types of content within those posts.
You need a heavy video strategy for Instagram. Like I had to, because I have a lot of clients that just do not have the time to post reels, right? And it became like a challenge, because it's like, okay, we need to grow their pages, but right now only on Instagram, you're only really growing if you're posting these different types of content. Story, reels, stickers on stories, Instagram videos, IGTVs, you're only really growing if you're really utilizing the different types of content. So I'll tell my clients, like, you have to get really creative on making content. You know what I mean? So like, for example, I have a client that's an interior designer, and she does a lot of, like ideas, like minimalistic ideas, right? And then I have to essentially design a graphic reel out of her blog post that she did on like minimalistic designs.
Yeah.
So like it can be done without you having to dance and like move and like mouth the words. Of course, it might not be as trendy, but it can be done, and it does help you grow. Because I would say a big chunk of businesses don't want to, dance around or like do the trendy things, unfortunately. But there's a big chunk that do, But I would say there's a lot that don't have the time to, and they just don't have the ideas to. So a good one is to kind of turn or animate something into a reel.
Yeah. And because there's multiple different types of videos you could produce. There's just regular video. There is IGTVs, but what you're talking about right now is reels, which is doing much better than categorically
any type of
than
content
anything.
right now. Yeah. And then another good strategy also is like, I have a client that has a jewelry brand. Again, they have beautiful jewelry, absolutely no time to do reels. So, the strategy is to get influencers to do reels for them. That's the strategy for them. So like we, every month, scouting influencers, sending them the reels that we think, types of reels, examples, and just that's their content strategy. And that's how they're growing, and that's how they're getting business, is through those influencer reels. And it's a win-win, because the influencer posts the reel and then the business posts a reel. So they have content, and then they're getting awareness from like two ends.
Yeah.
So that's a huge strategy that I would say all of my clients with products are using.
And then what kind of hashtags should they be putting on their posts if they want exposure?
Hashtags? So hashtags have to be very, very, very relevant to the post.
Okay.
So like, you
can't just hashtag love, hashtag Jesus anymore.
Well, if it's about Jesus.
If it's about loving Jesus, then maybe you should.
If it's about loving Jesus, then you should do it.
Yeah.
No, but the thing, I think what's happening is Instagram, like so many people were like Googling hashtags and then copying and pasting it. Like a lot of people were using like Instagood, OTD, like
Post of the day.
Post of the day. You know, I still use those every once in a while though, just to see how much reach I get from them. Like I said, I have the software that tells me the data if hashtags are doing well for me, which you do too. So yeah, you want to make sure that, what's it called? That it doesn't look spammy. Like you can't, for some reason, Instagram's honing down on accounts that look very spammy with like the 30 hashtags.
Yeah.
So you definitely want, like right now, I'm having my clients do it like 10 to 15 at the most.
Yeah.
At the most.
Because I had always heard that 5. 30 was how many you needed.
30 was
old,
how many
that might
you
be
needed.
Old info.
I don't think it's working anymore. Like I told you, like I had a client that we were doing 30 hashtags and we were using a lot of the same hashtags. And Instagram just like his engagement just started going down. Like it just wasn't doing much. And we were posting reels, we were doing all these things. And it wasn't until we redid the hashtag strategy to be like 10 to 15, very, very relevant to the actual post. It's a lot more work, unfortunately, but Instagram is really trying to hone down on the spammy looking content.
Yeah. So 10 to, is there a strategy behind that 10 to 15 as well, other than just it's got to be relevant to the post, which is hard because then you're rewriting. You can't just do the copy paste hashtags anymore.
You can't just do the copy paste hashtags anymore, unfortunately. Well, that's what I've seen in my accounts, you know, out of all of them I've managed. I do copy and paste a couple times. Like I have a couple clients that have like their business name as a hashtag and they have their branded hashtags, which I can understand. And that needs to be on every post.
Or if you're, you know, for your financial advisors, they're all financial advice. Every post is going to be financial advisors. So you can at least financial advice in each one. You can have some relevance.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say, just try not to look spammy, you know, like if it's 30 hashtags that just are like all over the place, like selfie all the time. And like, you know, just definitely hashtags that are very relevant. Like that, I would say start using location if you're a location based business.
Okay.
Like if
that's huge. That's ginormous.
If you're in Los Angeles, then like Los Angeles, maybe if you're a cafe in Los Angeles, like Los Angeles Cafe, you know, just start being really relevant with the hashtags that you're using. And I think like from what I've seen in my clients, it has gotten a lot more reach compared to the old strategy of 30 hashtags and the same ones for all the posts.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate.
Well, that's huge though. I mean, it's unfortunate, but that's huge though for everyone to know that like you have to get, because like even for me, like up until just now, I literally thought it had to be 30 hashtags and that 10 of them had to have under 100,000 engagements and the next 10 had to have under a million, and then the other 10 could be 1 million plus. Like I had a whole thing. I'd watched like a handful of different hashtag strategies. And it's old news. So like that's the big thing to know for everybody that's listening or watching is that like if you're just starting your business, or you're just starting to hop onto Instagram, or you're just starting to try to actually win on Instagram, you have to get the brand newest information, because if you go on YouTube and Google how to succeed on Instagram and you find a video from 2016, it's going to be completely irrelevant. You know, so you have to make sure that the video is within the last 3 months at the most. You know, so that you can actually achieve what you want to achieve, because people might give you information that's just old, you know, so you got to get something that's brand new, or you got to get a Stephanie in your life so that you can pick her brain on your podcast.
Just tuning into this podcast, because we're working like real time every day, 9 like freaking 24 hours a day on all these accounts, and you know, finding out what works, finding out what doesn't work. And just creating strategies left and right. So just listening to us, and hopefully we can help.
And join. You know what we should consider doing? This is interesting to talk about. Have you ever been on Discord?
No, what's that?
Discord could be an interesting one for us to start for in-house content course. Because I'm thinking, it'd be great actually if we have a private Facebook community that people can request to be into.
Oh yeah, we should.
Yeah. For anyone in our course, they automatically get into a private community. But to have at least a request-in community of people that are interested would be great. Just that we can constantly post valuable content.
Is that the same? Is it about the same thing as like a Patreon or no?
It's like Slack. Discord's just like Slack.
Oh.
It's really cool, and it's very community based, but it's nice because it's all localized within. I just don't know how many people would get on Discord. But if you're listening and you're interested in Discord, send us a message. podcast at inhousecontentcourse.com. As well, we will post a link or something to our Facebook group for you guys to join in. Or just honestly, if you go in, if you go onto our website, onto inhousecontentcourse.com/podcast and get that checklist, we'll make sure that you get an email regarding the Facebook group so we can add you in.
Yep.
Yeah. So Reels are doing really well. I just wanted to make sure we touch on that. Reels are doing really well, and Stories, right? Is that the other thing you're saying?
Yeah. So Stories. Okay, let's talk about Stories. So Stories, you can't do the swipe up feature unless you have the 10,000 followers,
Yeah,
right?
there
is a hack. Yeah, there is a hack where you can do it as an IGTV post and then share it to your stories, and then there's a link that's able to do it. Which you can go on YouTube and you can Google that, and it's pretty cool, but it does take some time. But yeah, so Stories work very well if you use the stickers or the audio or the effects. Like
stickers?
Yeah.
Like GIFs?
Like the stickers are like the polls. So like yes or no. Like you'll see a lot of the very big pages, like the popular community building pages or like the meme pages, just a ton of polls, a ton of yes or no, a ton of this or that, a ton of like there's the eat or yeet.
Eat or yeet? That's so funny. Eat or yeet?
I always interact with them. They're super interactive, and then for some reason, Instagram.
Or yeet.
Well, okay. If you log into Instagram right now, right? If you go to Instagram right now and you log in and you go in your profile, you're only gonna see. I don't know. It just depends who pops up, right? Like it just depends on who pops up with that highlighted ring around their photo that you actually click through, and then you look at like 5 and then you stop. Okay, so like what makes Instagram put that person in front of you when you're online compared to another person? You know, usually it's, you know, close friends, but it's also been shown, especially with my accounts, that it's clients that are using the polls, the this or that, the effects, these slides, like all of the little story features that you can add locations, like all of that seems to be what makes your stories more viewable. You'll note, like I've noticed, like my just photos compared to video stories, like my video stories, for some reason have way more views than my just photo stories. Like hardly anything.
I very consistently, I post a lot of memes on my personal page.
Same.
I'm a meme guy.
Yeah, they're pretty funny.
And they're 90% of the time they're very funny. But I consistently get 20% of my entire audience to engage with my memes, which I think is a pretty freaking
that's
big
awesome,
engagement
and that's
rate.
a perfect thing to do. Like build a relationship with people on your audience through humor. Like that's the best way. Like if you can make someone laugh, then they're gonna love you.
That's true.
Then like if they have the same sense of humor as you, then it's gonna be relatable, and it's just gonna build like a relationship, like we talked about in our last podcast, which we talked about romanticizing
and building trust.
Yes. So romanticizing and building trust.
I got a TikTok tip a couple days ago about Instagram. TikTok's not reliable for a lot as far as factual information, but this might be valuable. They said to increase your engagement throughout the day, post a picture that includes you with a poll or a question on it. Some sort of something that, even if it's a yes or no or something like that. They said if you make that the first post of your day, the rest will see a massive uptick in engagement for the rest of the day.
I'm telling you, those stickers, the polls, anything, like I just see it do so much better than just like a regular story, you know. And I do have a lot of clients. One of my software that I use is Growbase, the newer softwares, and I can schedule stories, but I can't schedule like the stories with the stickers on it, unfortunately. Yeah.
That's true, because you have to actually physically do that.
You have to go into Instagram and do it.
If you're listening, I would love for you guys to do it. Try that. Literally just start your day with a post that includes your face or includes you and has some sort of a question on it using the stickers, and let us know what your engagement is that day versus the day that you don't do that. I'd be super interested to know.
Comment below and let us know. We're going to do it.
Comment below.
Hey, Jared, let's
send
do
us a
it.
DM.
Yeah, let's do it all next week, and let's see how we do.
Yeah. Well, I'll do it. increase my
Okay,
engagement, please.
I'll freaking I'll try. I'll try to remember.
I don't know how, okay, so I'll tell you too. I posted a few stories today. Let me see really quick, because these stories
So did I.
did not have to. So these stories did terribly compared to my memes. So this one got 10% of my audience. The next one got, which I used the captions thing, which is kind of like a sticker.
Mm-hmm.
The next one only was seen by 16 people, and then the last one was only seen by 82 people, which is 82 is like 0.8% of my audience. I have about 1,000.
That's pretty
people.
crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
I noticed too, and I'm sure you've noticed, like, have you ever gone to like for example, I surf at the beach all the time, and I always put the location tag in my story when I post a story, because then it actually goes to that location tags. Yeah, and then people from in that location end up seeing it all the time.
That's smart.
Yeah, so then that's
Smart.
a good way to be to get followers. And like new followers and stuff, and get your stories actually seen by people that aren't following you.
Yeah. Rad. Is there anything else about Instagram that you wanted to touch on?
I'm trying to think. So
That's
like
pretty good.
Reels are just so big right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Reels are
and I
huge.
would say if you have the capacity and if you have the skill and the want to do them, I would hop on them, because Reels get shared at such a fast pace right now that people are sharing them left and right on their stories, on their feeds, on trending feeds. You can blow up so fast, whether it's a restaurant, mom and pop shop, financial advice, advice like we give, Jared, like you got that TikTok advice, like shareable content like that. I would say just content that adds value, but content that's entertaining. And it's hard to do. We completely understand, because we do it every day.
Right.
It's very hard.
Right. But it's worth it. Adding high value content is the way to go. High value content is always going to trump any other type of content. Goofy content, silly content, funny content, high value content that your actual audience wants will always win in the long run. Just make sure people actually want it. Some people just post stuff that's irrelevant, that's annoying, and nobody wants it, or they think it's valuable, but really it's only valuable to them, because they're like, oh, it's high value because I'm encouraging somebody to come in and schedule an appointment with me, which is a high value. It's like, it's a high value to you, but I think high value to them is to know how to fix their oily skin, or how to, whatever it is. Giving high value, I think, is so important.
And that's one of the mistakes I first made when I first started my company, is I was very like, book now, schedule an appointment, but I wasn't doing the romanticizing part of building that trust and adding value. Like, it's like the rules of the universe. If you help others, then doors will open.
Right.
So
that's
like,
true.
if you just create your content with the intent of adding value, and that your business offers value, so just figuring out how to make that value content on your social media pages for your audience.
Yeah. Have you gotten the Go-Giver yet? The book? The Go-Giver?
Dang it, and I just ordered books yesterday.
Me and Monica will send it to you. That's what we'll do. I'll tell her to send it to you.
Can she write me a little love note?
Your worth. So there's a quote in there. Yeah, I'm sure she could. There's a quote in there that says your worth is determined by how many people you serve and how well your business's worth is determined by how many people you serve and how well you serve them. There's so many good little quotes in that book about really, in the end, it's about how well you solve other people's problems. That's what business is. We have an intern. I don't know if I told you about that. We have an intern that started a couple weeks ago. He's awesome.
You did tell me about an intern.
Is
he cool?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's great. But that's like the big thing that we started with in the beginning is I want him to have a really solid foundational understanding of how business works so that he can serve our business. And we started off with just what is business. He goes, and in the beginning he's like, business is where you own something so you can make a lot of money. And I was like, that's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think that.
Goodness.
I'm sure everyone thinks that.
Yes.
They think, oh, you own your own company so that you can make money. And that certainly is a motivator. But what's business and why does it work? He goes, I don't know. I was like, it's when you give somebody something they need and they're willing to exchange money for it. That's it. You trade value. That's it. 100% of the time. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And like, A lot of people, of course, especially the newbies that we hire.
Yeah.
You know, they don't see that, and it's just like, and I know that you and I are really good at just mentoring our little employees,
our peeps.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, our youngins, because they're straight out of like college.
Yeah. Or sometimes they teach me stuff that I'm like, man, I did not know
Yeah, that's true. They do have
good.
a lot of value. It's definitely like not a win-win, but like more so a learn, you know, teacher
It's a
learn from
symbiotic,
student.
symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for listening to today's podcast. Be sure to subscribe, right, to our landing page and get your free small business marketing checklist that everybody needs, even if you don't have a business, even if you're a 2-year-old. Just kidding.
Yes. Well, no, if you're a 2-year-old and you're listening to this, you definitely need that checklist. Honestly, we need to interview you. It's at inhousecontentcourse.com/podcast.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for listening.
Thanks everyone. Thank you for listening to the In-House Content Podcast. If you'd like to start making content that works for you and not against you, and begin adding meaningful leads into your business, we've created a marketing funnel checklist for you to download. Head over to inhousecontentcourse.com/podcast to claim this free gift.